Oh, no, Matt. I've had a bad feedback. It's not that bad. It's really not that bad. It's fine. Feedback's fine. So this video is about feedback, and we're going to talk about how
to deal with it.
How to deal with it. Obviously, there's lots of positive feedback. There's always loads, but there are negatives too, and it gets me down. It doesn't get me down. It's fine. So what we're going to do is just going to talk about feedback and how to manage it when you first start getting going, and how you can manage it as you move forward. What we're trying to keep is, if you go on the feedback, which is where Matt just went on there, if we want to try and maintain anything above 98%, so if you just, you can't scroll up, can you? His right now is 99.4%, so his is nice and high, nice and healthy, so he's got nothing to worry about. This is where feedback is left, so the seller, so ourselves, can see what we've got, and this is also what buyers will see as well. If you're familiar with eBay, you've probably seen this loads of times before. You've got on the right, it says detailed seller ratings, so it just tells you in detail what they've got high for. So he's high on everything, with hardly any drops on any of those at all, which is really, really strong, which is really, really good. And then you can see positive, neutral, and negative feedbacks.
Yeah, precisely. So when you do get negative feedback, don't worry about it. As you can see, I've had 2 in the last month, but to counter that, I've had 198 positive. So I'm not worried about that at all. And it's when you get a negative feedback, to get one removed, especially
what we're saying is there are ways. There's a solution.
Yeah.
It's not be all and end all, and they're very rare anyway. But
especially in the early stages,
yeah.
you really don't want the negative feedback at all. You want to be operating at 100% positive.
Of course, first of all, we're providing a good service. We're making sure we're choosing the right products. We're making sure that these things that aren't likely to happen, but unfortunately, they can happen. It can be. Let's look at the feedback now. Let's see what it says.
Yeah, I mean, so one was still not here, and that just simply the item hasn't arrived yet for whatever reason. Wrong size was sent. Okay.
Yeah.
It's bad. Wouldn't recommend this seller as didn't receive item and no replacement offered.
Yeah.
Right. So this is somebody who I've actually looked into this one. Wanted a specific item, and because it was out of stock on Amazon, I couldn't provide that. So I said, I'm really sorry, here's your refund.
Yeah.
But they still were annoyed because I didn't offer them a replacement. But
yeah.
I simply couldn't because there wasn't one in stock.
Yeah.
So
these happen. You can see that they're pretty standard negative feedbacks. These are probably the most common, one of the most common ones you'll get. They do happen. Now, if is a feedback where we believe that the customer's it's not warranted. So, if someone decided to leave a feedback, what's a good example of someone leaving a feedback? Where basically if they just put in the comments just something like, is it about price or something?
Yeah, if they put something like, price overpriced, could find it cheaper elsewhere.
I probably could have found it cheaper elsewhere. I feel this is overpriced. That's just, they've bought that. They've seen your listing. They've paid for it.
We didn't tell them to buy it.
Yeah, we didn't force them to click on anything. So what they're doing is they realise, they think, actually it's a bit expensive. So they're going to leave negative feedback after that. You can then reach out to the buyer and ask them, what can we do to resolve this? That's absolutely fine.
It's always good practice. eBay love to see that.
Yeah.
Well.
And it's good customer service anyway, isn't it?
Yeah,
so reach out to the buyer. Just ask them if what we can do for them. Is there any way we can resolve this and get that removed? We can send them a feedback revision request, which actually, we're not going to show you that right now today, but you can, if you just put that into Google, it'll actually come up, and it'll come up on an eBay page.
As you can see,
and you can respond to them, or you can get them, ask them to remove the feedback. Furthermore, what we do, so after we've messaged the buyer, we actually ring eBay up, and we have a conversation with them. We explain that we feel it's not fair that that feedback is on the account, and they can actually see on your account, and they can see all your messages, send and receive messages, and they'll see that you've tried and you've made that effort.
And this is the bit that I'd really like to see, because it shows that we're trying to communicate with the buyer. We're trying to resolve their problem actively. We're not trying to ignore it. And therefore, they're far more likely to be far more lenient on you. Especially as usually the buyers, when they leave you negative feedback and you reach out to them, usually they don't reply to you. So, and that's actually a good thing, because it then looks like, from an eBay point of view, that you're trying to reach out to them and they're just shutting the door on you.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing. But if they do reply to you, listen to what they have to say, try and fix their problem, and if they revise it themselves, that's great. I have had a lot of people leave me negative feedback. I've reached out to them, I've tried to fix their problem, and even if I can't, they usually just appreciate the fact that I've reached out to them. I say, I'm really, really sorry that I've let you down. You know, would you please reconsider your feedback, because I don't feel like it's a fair reflection of me as a seller.
Yeah.
And quite more often than not, they do revise it.
Yeah. And sort of moving on from revising the feedback, let's go on to the positive side of feedback. So when someone leaves a feedback, especially at the beginning, it's great because you get your first one. Oh yeah. And then as you get more and more, you get a little like star rating. Again, it's just a star rating, a different color, but it's kind of fun to see you go up in the ranks of getting more ratings. People then trust you a little bit more.
You could see from the buyers. I mean, this person's got 7 feedback, so they
there's
haven't
no
got a star.
Then
17.
yellow is, I think, is the first one. Then the blue is probably the next one up even.
No, I think it's after 50 you get a different colour.
Is it
and
red?
After 100.
Oh, something like that. Yeah, and then but with when you get feedback at the start, what you want to do is when they leave you good feedback, leave them positive feedback. At the start, you will have to do this manually, so you just have to leave the feedback. That is actually quite straightforward. If you actually go on, I think you go on your orders page.
Yeah.
So you just go on sell. You just at the top it says sell. You'll say orders. You'll see them. You'll see that they've left you feedback on the right hand side. You'll see a little star. And then all you need to do is click on their name. You'll be able to click on that, leave them feedback. It'll be a little option. Leave them feedback. When you get to 10 or more feedback left for you, so you've already got 10 feedback, this is what's nice. You can leave automatic feedback. You find that by going on your seller dashboard, and it'll actually say feedback. Again, click the customize button. Make sure you've got everything shown on your seller hub. We showed you another video before, so if you need to go back to that one, have a look. Click on feedback, and then there's a little auto feedback button. Literally, it will say feedback and then auto feedback, and you can leave an array of different feedbacks. And in that, you can put something like,
fantastic
buyer. Thank you for your purchase. Any problems, we'll fix it. Please leave a 5-star review. Say. So I like to say personally, I like to say something along the lines of just like, we'll fix a problem if anything arises. Please contact us, because it shows you being proactive from the beginning. You're leaving them instant feedback, because I do it as soon as they purchase the item, and so you're instantly giving that gratification. They like that because they get a positive feedback on their name, so it kind of almost induces something that there's a positive sort of buying experience.
Yeah, and what I add to that message, I always put all feedback is greatly appreciated.
Yeah.
I'm not asking them to leave me positive feedback. Never do that.
Yeah.
Never ask somebody to leave you positive feedback. But
even though I say 5-star reviews.
But because he's worded it that way, he gets away with it. But just say, can you please leave me feedback? You know, once again, eBay like to see that you are actively trying to get people to leave you feedback so you can get better.
Yeah. And but again, use that auto feedback function. If we don't do a video actually fully showing it, again, you can go on Google and do it, or you can ask in the support group how to find it. But if you go on the Seller Hub, click on feedback, and you can set it up. You can only do it after 10 reviews.
Yeah. Well, that's feedback.
That's feedback. Negative feedbacks aren't so bad.
Yeah. All right, guys. See you in the next video.